We are finishing out cyber tips and tricks, getting the most out of our phone. Man, I appreciate all the questions that were submitted. I tried to narrow down, do a little bit of research when I get those to see like what are the top, features and things I should be looking at. And so we're going to look at converting paper documents to digital. I'm going to do a walkthrough of that and show you how that works. How to scan document text into the phone using a, you may have heard the term OCR, optical character recognition. It's an old term. It's been around for years. It started back in the, some of the Apple days back in the 90s. It's the concept of using your camera to lift the, recognize the text on a page and bring it into another document. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at editing and organizing iPhone photos. And Chris, did you figure that out? That live mode?
Yes.
Yeah, that's always on. I don't like the live mode.
By default.
Yeah, turning that live mode off is good for you.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's because I have a grandkid.
All right.
And you take pictures of it, and it takes so many pictures, and then you can go back and choose the one that's best.
Oh, that's cool.
From opened eyes to closed eyes, it's about 3 seconds.
Oh, that's a good idea. I thought of that. We're going to look at how to find the best iPhone apps. I have like a 5-prong approach that I like to use for when I'm looking for an app, and we're using yours as an example with looking for a timer. Did you find anything on that timer? Because I did find something.
Oh, you did?
I'm going to show it tonight.
Okay.
We use that in my examples. And then how to use the accessibility features, show you where those are. Those are going to be nice, like little areas you can go to kind of enhance sound, enhance abilities to do different things, to see certain things on the screen a little bit easier, to hear it easier, and also the Apple Touch on the back, the tap. I found out where that's at. So we'll, I don't know if you didn't know, you do have a button on the back of your Apple, back of your phone. So yeah, everybody's looking for it. Where's the button?
I tap it.
I don't see it.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, well, don't open the cases just yet. I will show you exactly where that's at, so you'll have a good idea. And then the question came up about how do you know, what's legitimate and what's not. I have 2 YouTube short videos that are out there that are already pre-done that I referenced for that last one. So hopefully just the fact that you can go to those references will kind of helpfully give back some time into what we're doing tonight. All right? All right. We're going to start off with digitizing files. Again, I'm going to switch back and forth between the screens. Hopefully, the document is an exact copy of what we're looking up here. So if you're online and you're watching this here, they're looking at the same thing on their paper. And then what we'll be doing is flipping the screen to the iPhone so you can see an overhead view of what we're going to do. All right, so if you remember, if you ever used a scanner, a document scanner, all right, you're feeding paper into a document scanner, takes some physical work. The goal is to take all your important documents, insurance records, taxes, whatever, and put them in from a paper form to a digital form. All right, and there's a practical purpose for a scanner because you can take a couple, bunch of sheets, stick them in there, hit a button, and let it do its thing. All right, that's the plus side of having a desktop scanner. But if you happen to not have one, you can use your phone to do the same thing. And we're going to go through it. So what I have on here, I like to do a 2-step approach with this because you can just go ahead and scan something, but if you don't have a place to put it, it's kind of pointless. All right, so I always like to have a destination. So when I'm scanning something, which I'm going to scan one of my documents here, I'm going to probably have to use my tabletop to do it. Oop. Move that stuff out of the way. So that way when it's scanning, it will go right into a digital form, and then you can save that scan into a file location. In this case, I'm going to be using the Documents app on the phone itself. All right, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to my notes page. That's where the fun begins. All right, so in here, I don't have anything in here. It's kind of like an area. Has anyone ever used Notes before?
Before OneNote.
Before OneNote? Yeah. It's kind of like, the old Notes on Windows. The Notepad. It's very few features, and it's kind of like very rudimentary. There's not a lot there. They have done some enhancements to it recently. They've given you the ability to do bullets and check boxes and those kind of things. But if you notice, there's two areas here. You have notes that you can store in the iCloud, which you typically would have if you have a phone, Apple phone. You usually get iCloud feature, or you can store them on your phone. Okay, so you have two different choices. If I'm storing them on my phone, it's physically on the device. If I store them in the iCloud, it's in the cloud. It's not on my device taking up storage, but it is someplace that I can get to it. Oh, I would keep doing that, right? So I keep doing the sideways, which gives me a huge screen. I like that. But this is more the realistic view when we're doing other things. So on the physical device, in the cloud, the benefit of being in the cloud is I can actually be at home, don't have to have my device. I can bring up my iCloud on my computer or on a different device and have the notes readily available for me. All right? And I can show you what that looks like too. All right, so to start off, I'm going to find my document that I want to scan. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to start off by going into my iCloud notes. I'm just going to go start there. There we go. Now I'm going to open up. Now I hit the new button. Now I can start typing whatever it is I want to type. Okay?
Did you hit iCloud or iCloud?
I went to iCloud. Yeah, so back here, I think I was in the iCloud. I'm going to click on the folder plus sign. And I click on that folder plus sign, and it says, okay, I'm about ready to create a new folder, and I'm going to do that on my iCloud. All right, so I'm going to create a new folder on the iCloud. Remember
I've never created a folder before, so what?
Okay. So that lower corner, did you see where I was?
I've done it. I'm at a new folder now.
Okay, yep, that's where we're at. We're going to name the folder. Okay, so I'm just going to call this important documents. Important documents, just for the sake of our little test here. And I'm not going to create a smart folder out of it. All right, the only purpose I would do that is I could, if I wanted to search for it, I can create tags and filters. I don't want to do that. Keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. So I have important documents as my title. I'm going to hit done. There you go, your first folder. All right, we're getting organized. That's what this is about, getting organized. All right, so I have a documents folder in my iCloud. All right, so right now as we're speaking, all right, it's not. This is setting up the folder structure in the cloud that I can access from anywhere. All right, as long as I have my passwords, right? Anyone can do it. So I'm going to click on that important documents. I'm going to go inside there, and now I'm ready to scan. All right, I'm going to scan a document into this folder. So I'm going to click on this new button down here, this new kind of create a new. It looks like a little pencil on paper, like you're about to do something new. So I'm going to click on that. And if you look here, you have a picture of a camera right there. I'm going to click that camera. And I have some options. I can choose to take a picture. I can just say, boop, put you all in my little folder. I could do that if I wanted to. I could scan a document, or I could take a video, or scan text. I'm going to scan the entire document. Then by default, it's going to look at this as an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. For transparency, I have not tested this on a legal size piece of paper or like an A3, A4, that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to click on Scan Documents. Now, and the thing about this is that when you click Scan Documents, it's going to come up with an auto button. I want you to hit that auto button and change it to manual, because for some reason, it defaults into auto mode and it automatically starts taking scanning pictures. There's a way to turn that off. All right, we don't want to do that right now. So as soon as that comes up, hit that auto and turn it to manual. Okay? All right, I'm going to line up my shot. Now you'll see it's going to try to help you out. Okay, it's going to kind of give an overlay. Now usually I'm doing this at a kitchen table, but lighting is everything. The better the lighting, the better the image is going to transpose. So once I have that where I want it, all right, it's going to scan. And then I have these little markers on the side that I can crop the image if I wanted to. All right, so I can move things around a little bit. See how it kind of zooms in? So if I wanted to bring those corners up, I could do that.
So it's kind of whopper jaw, you can straighten that out.
Yeah, absolutely. If I didn't like it, I could retake it or I can keep it.
Personally.
Yeah. So I'm going to keep this one. Boop. And it put it down there in the corner. Now, if I wanted to, I could say I'm going to flip the page and do another one. And I'm going to kind of line my shot up. Wait till it turns that weird funky color. Now, also what you can do, if you have bad lighting, you can hit the arrow, the lightning bolt, for your flash. So you can turn, I'll make myself dizzy, auto, or you can turn it on or off. So auto is going to automatically detect the lighting in the room and flash whether it needs it, if it needs to. On will flash all the time. So whether or not the lighting is perfect in the room, it's gonna hit the flash for you. All right. I usually just keep it on auto. That way, I let the phone decide what it thinks is best. Snap that picture. Again, I can drag it into corners, or I can just say I'm going to keep the scan. Drops it down in the corner. And see now it says down here, it says save to. All right, I didn't save this yet. All right, so if I close out of the app, I may end up losing these. So I want to hit the save button down the corner when I'm done with my scans.
Showing both of them.
Now it's showing up right there. That one I keystoned a bit. Look at that. That was pretty bad. That one got good. That one not so much. I kind of threw a little bit of trapezoid in there or something. Roomba, what do they call that? All right, and if you notice too, it even pulled out some of the content of the document and gave it a short title. iPhone productivity tips for getting.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of put that up there for you too. It's like, hey, do you want this? And it's like, sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, this is actually part of a document now. So if I wanted to say, put my little cursor down at the bottom, and it's flashing now, I can say, my notes for tonight. So what I'm going to do here too, if I wanted to, again, I have all these little tools. If I want to click return, I can hit this button here and do those little bullet statements. So I can make a list. I can hit it again, turn it off, turn it back on. I can hit the little pencil and I can pick a marker. I can pick a Sharpie, an eraser. I'm going to just go pick the Sharpie. So again, this is just an unorganized quick look at all the different features you can do in this. Now if you're done, you can hit the done button at the top if you have one. And it will save that for you. All that content is now saved in here. So you can scroll back in your notes, add to it if you wanted to. All right. And if I wanted to say, you know what, I want to send this to somebody, I can hit that up arrow. And I can copy it, I can send it in a text message, I can email it, I can post it on Facebook. I don't know why I don't want to do that, but I could do that. Or I could print it.
Did you turn your metadata off?
Yes, I did. Now, the very cool thing about printing, and I can't demonstrate it here because we don't have a printer on the network here, but at home, I can print wirelessly from my phone to my printer downstairs in my house. So
We do that too, that's awesome.
It's amazing.
It is amazing.
Because we do so much of our livelihood from phones.
Yes.
And this weekend was a perfect example. We were going fishing. We had some friends over from Texas, and he wanted to get a one-day residence pass. So hooked him up on my network. He got onto the Indiana DNR, got his license, paid for it. His little thing came up. We have to sign it. So I said, well, just hit the print button and send it to the Canon 320 downstairs. Boop, printed it out. Here you go. We signed it, and off we went. So we won't go into all the features, but again, when you look at them, you can pretty much tell, what they're available for. I mean, all kinds of things. I could put it up on my OneDrive and create a web out of it. I mean, it's just, Notepad is more than Notepad. You can use it for so much more. All right, so on this page here, notice how it has text. All right, there's images there, but there's, I want to just kind of grab that text. I don't want the whole document. All right, so if I'm in let's say I'm in my images for whatever reason. Now, if I bring that photo back up, it has a button down here. You don't see it on the screen here, but if a picture has recognizable text on it, it will give you this little icon. It looks almost like a frame with some lines in it. So if I hit that, it will automatically highlight, and I see on my screen, all the text that's available on that page. So now I can hit at the bottom here, again, it's for some reason it's not transposing to the screen, there's a copy all button. So that copy all button, I can grab that, and now it pulls that text off that image. So if I go back again into my document, and I'm just going to click on the end here and just kind of hit enter twice, tap with screen till my menu comes up, hit paste, and then there's all that content that I just took off this page.
And it's edible.
And it's edible. Yeah, it's not edible. It's editable. All right, I'm going to eat my words on this one. I'm not going to eat my words on this one. All right, editable. You can edit it. In the services, they hand out notes, which is great. I take notes all the time. My son doesn't like, to use the pen. He just, doesn't like writing, and that's okay because generations now they're doing everything on the phones. So what he was doing is he was taking a picture of the notes, just like this, and he was scanning it into his phone, and it works great because what he does then, he can flip between like his Bible app, and he can bring something into the notes page, and it's like, it's got pages of stuff, but he scans it just like that. I was like, well, that's a great tool because it's like you're getting verbatim what's on the document into your phone, so you don't have to translate it, all going back and forth and making mistakes. So that's the converting documents to scanning. Okay, so the difference being, you're scanning the document in one whole page-like thing, page-like image, and then in this last case, we were lifting text and just taking the text itself and copying it off the page. Let's talk about images. Big questions that come up all the time. How do I organize my pictures? Anyone have more than 5,000 pictures on their phone? All right, yeah. I mean, if you're that far without organization, there's no help. There's no hope. I mean, unless you want to really spend time to go, take a whole weekend and a couple PTO vacation days and go through this, then wow, you will have
How many you have?
a blast. So we went through a little bit about photos the other week about what's contained in them. Now we want to organize them. All right. So on your handout, I have two different things that we're going to look at. One is how to organize, and the other one is how to edit. We're going to do a look at some of the editing features. All right. So I got a couple pictures in here I want to organize into some fashion. What I like to do before I organize things, I like to go through and find the ones that are my favorites and just kind of put a little heart by them. That way I know, that they're more important than what may be others. There's Donnie. He's kind of my favorite. He gets,
Doing my thing.
he makes customers very, very happy. So then I got my dog. He looked like he was loving life today. I woke him up, and he was like, "Really? What are you doing?"
He looks like you just woke him up.
Yeah.
How soon are you leaving?
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna put a little heart by him there. And again, it's not showing up down here, but you have some tools at the bottom, and I think they're also printed on the page as well. He's a little more awake in that one, so I'm gonna heart him there. And I got some outside picks, trees and those kind of things. We're gonna use these for examples here in a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna hit the arrow out and kind of go back to my main images here. I'm an albums junkie. I create a lot of different albums for things, especially for my educational content. So when you go down the albums, there's a couple different things that will automatically appear. And some of it automatically identifies and puts in folders for you. It's kind of smart like that. Obviously the recents, it's keeping all the recent stuff that I've taken pictures of. I favorited 2, so it keeps those in a nice area for me. Got some pictures of cars in there. I created this folder. I'm going to show you how to create that here in a little bit, or that album. All right, and then there's things that are automatically created by default, just because it could be an app that I've installed or something that it's pulling from another account. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here into my albums. And when I'm at the main albums page, there's a plus sign at the top. Plus sign always means you're going to add something, right? So I hit the plus sign and I get 3 options. I can add an album, a new folder, or a new shared album. All right, so I always stick between the albums. So I'm going to keep it basic and I'm going to create a new album. So new album name, I'm going to just call this one, let's just call this Pets. So as soon as I hit OK, I type that in, I hit OK on that, it's going to take me into all my main image areas here, and it's going to want me to select what folders I want to put into my Pets folder or album. So it's already in select mode. So all I have to do is pick the ones, 1, 2, and it looks like I hit some back down here by accident. So I'm going to turn those off. Those are not pets, those are documents. All right, so as soon as I have those selected, hit my add button, and now I've created a pets folder. And again, this being synchronized with the cloud would automatically have that folder available to me. But yeah, I could go back to let me go back here.
Putting a heart on it puts it in your favorites folder.
Right.
Oh,
right,
okay, gotcha.
Right. Let's just say I'll find Bo's favorite tree, and I want to put that into the album. Okay. Now there's 4 images in there, and there they are.
Nice.
Yeah, so if I go back to my albums, and I go, let me go back to pets, and I'm going to go back and get rid of that tree, because that's in the album now. I go back to my camera. Oh, remove from...
It would, yeah.
It does, I see that. Yeah, so if you're in the library and delete it, it will ask you, do you want to remove it from the library or from the album? So the library is the main area. That's where everything's stored. All right, what was my other feature on there? Oh, a couple other things you can do on these. We did this, I think, last week. So you can actually have the image and lift from the bottom. Just kind of touch from the bottom. And it gives you all that data that we said the last time. But on here, it tells me it's a plant. Automatically, it tells you it's a plant. It's really a tree, but it's a plant. And I named it. It gives you, you can actually describe it. So I put on here, crabapple tree front yard. I just title it. So I mean, if I was, horticulturist or doing gardening, landscaping, and I was taking pictures of trees and plants for customers, I can go in here and name this. All right, if I was at customer site, going to Chris's place, he's got different trees he wants either moved or cut down, take pictures of them, put them in an album called Chris. That way all his stuff's in one place, and I can refer to that. Now what I did notice, so it says look up plant, and it got this totally wrong, but it's okay, it tried. So if you do click on, if you point to that and you look it up, the results, it comes up and says pomegranate or crepe myrtle, and it's neither. So, I mean, it's not, the picture's probably not distinct enough for it to realize, hey, it's a crabapple tree.
Crepe myrtles won't grow out here.
What's that?
Crepe myrtles won't grow in this climate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I should know that by the longitude latitude, but hold on. The other thing you can do too, I think, is if you go to Bo here, I think it should tell me. It says dog. Do I want to look him up? Let's see how close they get to him.
Let's see.
Oh, he got it. Puggle.
Ah.
He got it. It's a puggle. So, yeah. Crossbreed of a pug and a beagle.
This is smart.
All right, let's do, we got some, we're down to a little bit of a half hour. Let's do some editing here real quick. All right, so I had a really awesome question about lifting images out of a scene. How do you lift an image from a scene?
Got this.
Yeah, so what you do is you find the image, and I'm just going to hold my finger down on him,
Just to brush your friends.
and it kind of does a quick sweep. You notice that? I don't know if you've tried it, but then I can copy it or share it. If I hit the share button, I can actually save the image right to my photos library. So now if I go in,
So reindeer,
there he is,
it's a baby.
just by himself.
Did you copy and
Took the-
share with yourself? Or did you
No,
post
what I
it?
did is when I copied it, I opened up the share and I just said save image. So let me go back to that again.
Yeah, I don't.
Actually, I'm going to use my car. I'll use the car.
Okay, so.
All right, I'm going to hold my finger on the car
Okay, got it.
until it scans it.
Yep.
I'm going to share it, hit the share button, and then save image.
Oh, you go there and see.
Then it takes it right to your photo library. All right, so for my images, I'm going to go back to Bo sitting here on the couch. I'm going to just hold my finger on him.
Okay.
And then you'll see like a little shadow kind of pass over him. I'm going to hit the copy button now this time. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to take it, let's say I want to go into a note document. I'm going to create a new note document. Call this Puggles,
And then paste it in there.
and hit paste,
Oh.
and there he is.
So can you save that then to your photos, just like that too? How would you do that?
Yep,
We did
so,
it for you.
yep, going back to this, I hold him down, let him do his little poof scan, hit the share button, then I'm going to hit the save image button.
Save image.
Save image.
Is that what you did?
Yep. So when you hit save image, it appears that nothing happens, right? Nothing, all right, but it did. So if I go back into my camera, I will see he's right in there.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All by himself. All right, let's talk about apps. We're going to kind of shift gears a little bit into of all the apps that we could possibly want, or something as simple as we talked about a timer, like for if we're doing like workouts and reps, which I found when I'm actually using it now that I'll show it to you.
Motivation.
Because I'm going through some neck therapy, and you're supposed to do stretches. You know, you do so many sets for 10 seconds, and you start over and do 30 of these for 10 seconds. So, like, I don't want to have to sit there and go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's nice to have, like, be able to do something while I'm sitting there on the computer watching TV and have it ding at me. That way I know to transition or something like that.
That's exactly what I needed.
Yes, well, I found it.
Second,
Yeah, right. So we're going to be sitting here practicing. Oh, I got my next
It's like
trick.
the timer, and then sometimes you gotta like.
Right, exactly. But what are some criteria? What would I use? How do I know all these apps are good, or are they good? How do I know they don't have viruses in them and those kind of things? All right, so I look at a couple different things. I got screenshots on here, so I'm going to have to go too deep on some of these. That way I can show you the app that I got. So 5 criteria that I use. One is, as I'm scrolling through, and I see the different things. For example, I'm typing in interval timer free. All right, hardly anything is free anymore. I mean, everything has some kind of in-app purchase. Well, how do you know what the cost of that is? Well, we're going to figure that out too.
So even when you type in free, there could be a fee attached to
Oh
it?
yeah, yep, yeah. It's gonna filter based on the availability of what you're looking for. So if I type in interval timer and I append free to that, if there's nothing free in that category, it's going to show me everything for interval timer anyway, whether it's free or not. It's going to basically filter those as best as it can. So like I looked at a couple here and I'm like, wow, this one's got 16,000 downloads. This one's got 54,000 downloads. So that tells me right off the get-go that seems like a pretty good one. Plus, when you kind of look at the rating, now I'm over here and I see what's got a 4.9 out of 5, right? And this 54,000 people have used it. Almost a 5.0 rating on it. That's probably pretty good. Okay. Then I'm like, okay, one of my kickers is how well does a developer maintain his application? This is a kicker for me to be more of is this developer responsive to the needs of the customer that have like there's bugs in it, or they report something wasn't working right, or there's an update or a new feature or a security patch. Okay, are those being addressed properly? So I go in the version history of the app, which I can show you how exactly to get there, and I can see there's a very good cadence of the developer doing his job. Version 3.60 came out 3 months ago, added some new options and bug fixes. 5 months ago, fixed some minor bugs that were found. 5 months ago, improved the user interface. So that's a very active developer taking care of the needs of the customer. I love that one. Then I'm like, okay, how much is it going to cost me? Because it says it's not free. It says I can get it, but if I scroll down, I can say, oh, there's a little button for in-app purchases. So when I open that up, now I start to see $1.99 for 1 month, $2.99 for Premium Pass 1 month. Lifetime is $19.99. Oh, cool. Well, it's that great, and I like it, and maybe I want to do it that way. Then there's another couple of things in here for our promo and whatever.
So
14.
might you try it for a month and then go to the lifetime? Or whatever?
Absolutely, you could. Yeah, you could say, hey, I liked it for a month. I think it's a keeper. I'm going to pay for the upgrade. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of apps that you actually pay for, Steve?
I do. Yeah, I have apps that are in like the creative area of things, educational things, and I try to find a developer that's, I say, worthy kind of in a way, because if it's meaningful for me and it's serving a purpose, I don't mind paying for that app and helping that developer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think that's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Otherwise, the free things, you're never gonna really guaranteed that they're gonna keep up with this. Plus, you're giving your freedom, you're giving your content, you're giving your security away, because there's always something in return, right? Whether it's a paid app, you're giving some monetary. Free apps, well, the way they pay for the free app is advertising.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to have to, you're kind of giving up some of your, your cookies or your things you do and things that it's going to say, hey, I saw you were looking at couches the other day. Well, here's some ads for couches, that kind of stuff.
Is
So
that how that comes across Facebook?
Can't believe anything they don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you wanna go make?
that's, the crowdsourcing, the platform sharing, the way things come across. Yeah, that's how they do that. Or it's like, the irritating part of free apps is, you have the app and, an ad will come up right in the middle of a game or right in the middle of something you're doing, and you have to watch the ad for 5 seconds. Then you think you're done. Oh, there's another app for 10 seconds. Can't skip it. Gotta keep watching. The other one is other products. What other products has this company done? So I can say, okay, well, if I'm in that app, this is all before I even downloaded it. This is just on the App Store. I can see, they've got a couple other good apps out there that are getting some good ratings. So, overall, this to me would be I would be very comfortable giving my money to this developer. So this is a interval timer for a high intensity training workout. So as I scroll through this, I can see, the reviews that are part of that. I can see the what's new. There's the versions right there. If I click on that, which tells me that they've done a very, very good job of taking care of the app and taking care of their customers. Looks like there is a free trial. They could do a free premium pass free trial. Make sure if you're not wanting the free trial that you make sure you stop the subscribe before it turns into a free trial. You have to unsubscribe. All right, and down below here, usually towards the bottom, is where it says in-app purchases. Yes, you hit the yes button, and it reveals all the different fees for you.
So, like your Sam's app and your Target app and CVS, those are free
Those are free. Those are funded and paid for by the company.
by the company, okay?
Yeah, they want you to use those. It's their best interest.
Yeah. Why is that?
What's that?
Stuff.
Why do they want us to use them?
Because, for
Because you're more.
example, the Meyer app, which my wife uses, his wife uses, it learns your shopping habits.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden in the mail, the last
Yep.
8 times you've been to the grocery store,
Yeah, they send you coupons.
it's exact coupons.
Yeah.
So you scan the thing, it goes into the app.
That's a customer
Coupons
service
are
too.
saved.
Right. Yeah,
Well,
it's
and
a
I
customer
guess-
service too,
Yeah.
because if I want to know if something's in the store, I can go to the app first.
Okay.
And I do this a lot with the hardware store, Menards. Seriously, they know me well at
Yeah,
Menards.
he's frequent shopper.
So if I want to see, hey, I'm looking for a specific window or I'm looking for a specific tool, I go to Menards app and let's say it's not, they show maybe there's 2 of them and it will show what's actually in the store. There's 2 in the store. Now whether they're actually there or not
Yeah.
is anybody's guess, or I
Well,
could
it
say,
says we have 2, but I can't find it.
right. Right off the app, I can say, well, maybe I want to check a different store. And right on the app, I can say, okay, well, 30 miles down the road is another Menards. They have 50 of them down there. I'm going to go there. What I've done with apps, especially with the Amazon app, if I'm out, we did this a couple years ago when we got our pool. We got an above ground pool. And there was a pump. We were looking for a sand filter pump. And we found one at a local store. And it was like $239, $280. Oh no, it was $289. And that was on markdown. And I'm like, I'm just gonna see what it is online. So I pulled out my app for Amazon and I scanned the code on the box. Well, I could get it for $100 less on Amazon. I did the same thing. I looked at, okay, it's I forget the brand of what it was, but I could see the brand. I could see the ratings. I'm like, okay, this looks great. I ordered it right there in the store. I mean, I felt bad, but I'm like, you guys just saved $100.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, and the issue is, okay, if I have a problem with it, I have to ship it back versus just bring it back to the store. But sometimes those are the kind of risks you take, especially on something that large. All right, I think we're at 5 minutes till. The last thing I wanted to do is that double tap feature, or the tap feature on the back, which I made you all look for, that button that's on the back. So let's work through that here real quick. All right, and this is going to be found in our accessibility features under settings. So if I go to settings and I scroll down to, accessibility, and this is on your paper as well. Sometimes there's just tools that I want to have at my fingertips, literally. All right, so I go down to touch after I'm in accessibility. Come down to touch. And then all the way at the bottom, all the way, it says back tap. All right, back tap is this right here. All right, so if I turn on the back tap, I've actually got it programmed right now because I was playing this afternoon, like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I can double tap for a screenshot. So I can change that to do a bunch of different things. I can pull up my app switcher, which is just like we're switching through the apps. I can make the flashlight come on. I can lock the rotation, mute, a bunch of different things.
Oh, the flashlight can be the back down.
Yeah.
I can never get it to
Like
come
mine's on
Mine's
three
set for
times.
2.
Yeah.
Mine doesn't come.
Well, mine was working.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh,
All right.
Wait, you got yours to go? Yeah, where are you tapping his at?
Just right in the center. 1, 2, 3.
I just tapped it in.
But you have to have it.
It matters if you have a magnet in your, like my case has a magnet.
If you have one of those pop-it things that they put on there, then you've defeated
It's
the
a magnet,
purpose.
so it can like adhere to things.
Yeah.
If
I wonder
that's
if
it.
that magnet-
I appreciate everyone being here, and I thank for those who are on the call, on watching the stream. So